Yo, what's going on, guy? It's your boy Player X here with the Semi-Limited Podcast. Going off the rip, give a huge thanks to all of our listeners, everyone who's tuning in, checking us out, sharing all the social feeds and whatnot. Appreciate all that. It means a lot to us who are trying to make sure that we get this platform up where it needs to be and in the ranks that we know it can be. So thank you for tuning in and sharing and tagging your friends and sharing it in your group chats and stuff. So appreciate it. Before we get into today's episode, we're going to be talking about, a couple things that I wanted to mention before the regional that we have coming on. So we're just going to be talking about the reprints that happened for the 2023 Megatins because the secrets got leaked. We're going to be talking about the regional coming up at Millennium Games in Rochester for all my New York people. And then basically a little bit of our opinions as to what the high-end market might do in the impeding future. So make sure you stay tuned to check out all the goodness. But before we get into that, be sure to go in that description box below. Hit that Linktree link down there and go follow all the social sites. You got YouTube, you got Facebook, you got X, Twitter, whatever the fuck you want to call it nowadays. We have Instagram. You can go check out all the podcasts on all the platforms, such as Spotify, YouTube, which will be taking a new leap over to our official YouTube page. And then you can also check it out on Apple Podcasts. You can also check it out on Google Podcasts. Guys, anywhere you want to go, you can go check it out. So make sure you search up Semi-Limited Podcasts, all right? And our Twitter and TikTok giveaways are going to be coming up soon. We have 47 followers on Twitter, so we're coming close to that. And we also have 32 on TikTok, so appreciate all you guys who are showing love there. And when we hit 50 on both of those, or we hit 100 on Instagram, because we're close to there, I think we have like 88 there, we will do more giveaways for you guys, whether that be giveaways of cards, whether it be giveaways for merchandise, maybe apparel. You never know. We might give away some, accessories. The sky's the limit. So we just want to make sure we give back to you guys. Much like our sponsor, who I'll also plug in, wink, wink, Unplug Gaming in Manlius, New York. Be sure to check out their Discord server. It's also going to be down in the description box below. You can go down there, click on it, be a part of their Discord server where you can join all the talk about all the TCGs they got going on, whether it be Yu-Gi-Oh!, One Piece, you got Magic. I'm eventually going to learn all these fucking card games. The new one, Lorcara, whatever the hell it is. The new Disney one where you can go be Donald Duck. All that stuff is down in their Discord, so you can go down there, check it out. If you go in store, be sure to mention that the boys over at Semi-Limited sent you, and they'll probably hook you up more often than not. Joe really does fuck with us, so. Also, before we get into tonight's episode, I would like to introduce our guest. He is a returning guest from many episodes prior. I wouldn't say many episodes, but like a couple episodes prior. And I just love him because he's such a down-to-earth guy. He's very, very knowledgeable, but more importantly, he's just smooth and easy to listen to. I just love this guy's voice. For real, give it up for the boy fresh off the press, a.k.a. my man Jay.
How's it going, man? It's a pleasure to always be here, man. I really appreciate you inviting me over once again. Had a blast, been on the podcast multiple times. Each and every time, just have a great experience. You just do such a great job, man. It's an honor to swing by and have some fun just talking about what we love and we're passionate about, which is Yu-Gi-Oh!
Absolutely. I'm just glad that I'm here to listen, dog. Just because I just wanted to conversate, but I just wanted that personal conversation with you, man. You already know how it goes. I appreciate all the kind words, too.
Of course, man.
Before we start, did you want to give any plugins, any shout outs, anything of that? Anything you want to like?
Of course, man. Why not? As always, the YouTube channel. Yeah, the YouTube channel. We'll probably leave the links in the description down below. I mean, I have a link tree with our centralized, resources
probably
there.
Damn well I'm about to.
I mean, we got to play it nice now. But yeah, of course. Check it out, man. Down below, check it out. We'll have our YouTube channel there, or probably the link tree where I have everything, our own podcast, just a lot of things going on with the channel. So if you want to check it out, man, if you're into market watches, penny stocks, things of that nature, that's where you want to be at, fresh off the press.
And you also have, if I'm not mistaken, a stock one or crypto one, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So
Thanks for mentioning
right,
that. Yeah, we're actually
yeah.
going through a rebranding, because now I want to, obviously I have fresh off the press, for YGO fresh off the press. So I'm gonna change it to fresh off the crypto for my English channel, so we're going reworking the rebranding, but right now it's bilingual investing. Yeah, if you just want to, take a peep, I do cryptocurrency investing, always talking about that stuff over there. Right now we're in a bear market, interest is low, but things will flip around in a year or two. So if you're into that stuff, most definitely check it out. For now, it's bilingual investing. You could just search me up on Google or YouTube, and we're gonna be rebranding to Fresh Off the Crypto coming soon. So stay tuned.
That's what I like to hear, because I'm also a person who likes to double dabble in other things. It's funny, I kind of got my love for, or my taste in market watch content similarly to stock markets. So a buddy of mine, Devon, shout outs to him, had got me into stocks a couple of years ago and just taught me like how to read a chart, how to learn about other things going on in the world, which how they might affect the stock market, which kind of translates over to the game as far as like what cards go up because of scarcity, what cards go up because of things that are going on in the meta and stuff. So, I always tried to tie in the two in some way, shape, or form.
I mean, all markets are similar. They're ran by fear and greed, supply and demand, fundamental economics. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, all markets are similar. It could be crypto, could be Yu-Gi-Oh, could be gold and silver, it could be stocks. You know what I mean? It could be even car collectibles. You name it. It's never ending. Everything is about fear and greed, and then attached to supply and demand. And and that's why we have prices in a market. That's the reflection of human emotions. So you hit it on the spot.
Absolutely. So anybody who likes to invest into the stocks as well as the game, be sure to go check out the bilingual investing over on YouTube, which will soon be
fresh off the crypto. Yeah, let's get it, man.
Right, exactly. All right, so getting into today's episode, a big one that got announced, some big news that happened in the Yu-Gi-Oh scene was the announcements, or I would say announcements because it's not official, but the leaks, quote unquote, for the reprint for the 2023 Megatin that's coming out this year. So with that being said, we're going to read off the entirety of the list of all the secrets that are going to be in the 2023 Megatin, meaning that they're going to be the prismatic secret slot. And then we'll talk about whether we think that those are good pickups, whether we think that those are bad pickups, whether you should get them at a certain price, what we think they might be falling to, yada, yada. We'll just openly discuss. And I know Konami kind of somewhat hates when this shit gets leaked because a lot of the leaks that come out all see very severe repercussions. But as a player, I love when people leak that shit because it just gives me a little bit of like giddiness of like, damn, all right, what am I really looking forward to? Because some cards, although I agree that sometimes you see a card reprinting, you're like, yeah, I don't really care about that. That could have been something else. Some people like that card. Like some people might not like Prismatic Magnamut because they might not play Dragon Link or something like that. But a Dragon Link player, someone who likes a Bestial player, a branded player, they might all like that shit. So
that's true.
You never know.
Yeah, good point. Yep.
All right, so getting into this long ass list that we got here, that I'm going to try not to butcher any names on. We're going to go start from the top to bottom, and we have Tamias the United Dragon, DDD Divisor King Deus Machinix. What the fuck? Dinomorphia Rexstrom. We have Skeletal Dragon Felgrand, Scareclaw Lightheart, Blackwing Sudori the Phantom Glimmer, Bestials Magnamut Saranair Druis Worm, and the Bestial Lubellion. Blazing Cartesia the Virtuous. We have Kashtira Ogre, Unicorn, and Fenrir. We have Ignistus Phoenix the Draco Slayer, Kashtira Birth, Destructive Daruma Karma Cannon, both of the Labyrinth Servants, Ariana and Ariane. And then we also have Labyrinth, Water Enchantress, Magic Karibo, Illusion of Chaos, and Master of Chaos, Visas Starfrost, Scareclaw Rykart, Scareclaw Triheart, Primitive Planet Rycophobia, Blue Eyes Jet Dragon, Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon, Vision of the Blue Eyes, Dynamite Power Lord the Draco Slayer, Majesty Pegasus the Draco Slayer, Blackwing Vestas the Emblem of Wandering, Shamal the Sandstorm, and Blackwing the Salt Dragon, Dynamorphia Theresia, Therion Lily, Therion King Regulus, and Therion Discalcium. We have Elemental Hero Spear of the Neos, Lady Labyrinth of the Silver Castle, and Lovely Labyrinth. Welcome Labyrinth as well. All of the Exo Sister monsters, as well as Exo Sister packs. Hugins gets a secret. Runic Fountain and Tip get a secrets. as well as Rite of Armistice getting double reprints as a secret, and Faithful Adventure coming out as a secret. Muckraker the Underworld, World Sea Dragon Zealantis, Tri-Brigade Showdown, Starving Venom Predaplant Fusion Dragon, whatever the fuck that is, Branded Banishment, Alba the Ashen, Red Eyes Dragon Zombie Lord, Cashier Shangri-La, Garua the Winds of Resonance, which is a really good one, Amazoness Pet Liger King, the Zombie Vampire, Wonder Rees, and the Advent of Adventure, Beyond the Pendulum, and finally, Psychic End Punisher. Now, what was your first reaction when you saw that all of these cards were getting reprinted? This is just your first initial reaction.
I mean, insanity. My brain, all this information just couldn't fit in my brain. Like, it's just so many cards, especially a lot of the meta relevant cards. You know what I mean? So, you know, a lot of us wanted reprints, and we're expecting this too. You know, on the channel, I have months talking about, since we know that the 2023 Megatins are going to be coming out and the sets that were going to be included. We've been knowing this information for months. I've been telling guys, stop holding these bags, man. Stop catching these bags. Lubellion was 80 billies just the other day. You know, and a couple of weeks ago, I'm like, guys, don't let this go down 50%. And you can check it right now. It was like $35 last time I checked. I'm like, man, of course, if you're playing the card, you know, some people love their first that OG prints. I get it. If you're going to regionals or tournaments, I can respect that. You know what I mean? You're not going to sell the card just because it's going down when you need to go to a big tournament and things of that nature. But there's some people that have these cards in their binders, just straight there, you know, just there chilling Macmillan. Oh, I have an extra copy of Lubellion, this first that OG print. I mean, the card looks beautiful, and I'm like, in my brain, that's all good and well, but that thing's going down 50, 60, 70% one of these days. You know what I mean? Like, people need to learn how to recycle their purchasing power. You know, if you would have sold that Lubellion right now, you could even buy 2 of the OG prints. You know what I mean? In just a matter of a week or two. You know, so it's really important to understand these things, you know, and we had the information. That's the key. This is not news. You know, seeing a Lubellion on here, seeing a Fenrir, seeing, you know, a Cartesia, and all these Labyrinth cards, and you can go down, Starfrost, all of these, we knew that they were going to reprint most of these cards from most of these sets. You know, we didn't know specifically, obviously, until it comes out, but just knowing the sets that are going to be reprinted, like, we can't be speculating like that. A lot of people had binderfuls of, you know, play sets of Starfrost, play sets of Cartesia, Lubellion. I was just, nah, man, like, I would have been selling those cards, you know, a long time ago. So, you know, hopefully the community took advantage of that, especially the people that watch my channel. You know, I've been talking about this forever because it hurts, bro. It hurts if you have an 80. Let's say you have a playset of Lubellion at 80 billies. That's what, 240? And, you know, right now that's like $90, bro. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. It's a lot of money left on the table. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I agree completely. And as you said, a lot of these are meta relevant, meaning that not only are they going to, I would say, influence the market right now, but how viable are they even going to be? Because Konami likes to do that thing where they reprint something and then immediately ban that shit to the fucking ground. You know what I'm saying? So, like,
of course,
a lot of these is speculation. If we're going like as far as like banlist regulations, a lot of these could not even survive this printing.
That's
they
true.
Might be limited or even semi-limited banned by the time that this list drops.
Literally, I mean, we should be expecting a ban list, you know, anytime from here, obviously, either before, a little bit after, whatever, whenever they choose to. But, you know, when this product comes out, and I think that, for example, the Bestials, they'll probably get that OCG treatment, you know, where last ban list they weren't touched, but, you know, some of these are at 1 over there, you know, and things of that nature. So it messes up the engine, obviously. But you're right. I mean, it's, and knowing those two things, 1 is the reprint factor, and 2 is the ban list speculation, where, like, again, Lubellion, you know, if they were $80, okay, they're getting reprinted. It's down 50%. What do you think is going to happen if Lubellion goes, you know, to 1 on a ban list? You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be a $15, $10. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So you left $50, $60, $70 on the table. Why? Because it's first at OG? No, like, come on now.
There's flexing, and then there's just stupidity. You know. So, I mean, looking at this list, though, does anything, like, stand out to you that kind of, like, tickles your fancy as far as, like, all right, this might be a sleeper investment for later on?
Yeah, I was gonna just something that before I get to that part, something that I noticed is that I think I don't see Divine Carnate and cards from Power of the Elements, you know, like Sprite cards, Divine Carnate. Those are also meta relevant cards that I don't know if they might sneak them as ultra rares or, you know.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that later.
Yeah, of course. I don't want to, you know, but yeah, I just wanted to mention that I think Konami might be, you know, if that happens though, this product is gonna be nuts, man. Just including so many meta relevant cards that were used, you know, they were a lot of money and now we can get them at way cheaper prices. That's pretty cool. Also, something else I wanted to mention is the Venture package. It's crazy how they're reprinting it, in Battles of Legend Monsters Revenge with Rite of Aramis and Water Enchantress. And now we're going to get reprints of those as well. It's crazy how they're trying to, just put that package out there. So that's pretty cool. I found that pretty insightful. But overall, a card that I see here is the Zombie Vampire. I mean, I really like this card as a rank 8 generic that also, I believe, dumps into the grave and special summons and does all that craziness. I really like that card, as one that I'm going to be looking at. Obviously, King Regulus, I like it too. Therion King Regulus, I really like that reprint as well. Just skimming through here. Blue Eyes Jet Dragon, I like it because I don't always just focus on meta relevant cards, things of that nature, cards that casuals like, that have that nostalgic feel, an archetype like Blue Eyes, starting way back when the game began, and they get that support. People are going to come in because that card, it went up to 30s recently, knowing that we were going to get a reprint. So it has a lot of demand.
Very enticing.
Exactly. High demand cards like that. They're going to come out. The OG is going to go down. This was going to probably be low, but when the tins start drying up, that's definitely one that I'll keep in mind. Obviously, Illusion of Chaos is one, that I like as well because it was single print. So you have the base print and the Starlight, but at the end of the day, they were both extremely hard to get, so now having a more accessible version of this card, I really like it. And then again, obviously the Bestials, I expect them to be touched by the ban list. Again, no one knows 100% for sure, but that's just speculation. But if they go down to one, we got to wait and see what happens with that. But yeah, I just mentioned a couple of those cards that I'm gonna be, the Zombie Vampire, Blue Eyes Jet Dragon, some of those cards that no one's gonna like. When this card comes out, everyone's gonna be like, meta. I need Bestials, I need Labyrinth, I need Runics, I need this, that, and the other. And all that is good and well, but I always like to see a list like this and just be like, what can I pick up that no one's gonna be focusing on that might actually appreciate and value into the future?
No, and I can agree with that too. And as you said, you were surprised by the printing of the Adventure engine again, because as you mentioned, it was reprinted in Battles of Legend. And Konami isn't new to double reprinting. As you know, like Appaloosa one year got reprinted like 4 times in the span of like 6 months. I was like, God damn, they reprinting this bitch again?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so like, they're just not like, it's not new to them. It's very, very irregular. I'll give you that, but it's not new.
No, you're right.
It is shocking when you definitely see it. There's a lot of cards on here that if I'm scrolling down, you can just really see, like Magnamut and Druid Worm definitely stand out alongside Bestial Rebellion. Those are definitely notable. Blazing Cartesia's now going to cool down because that's got one. The Fenrir is going to be way more accessible, so the Ultra is going to cool down to like maybe $5, $6, $7. While the Secret will probably chill around the same time. Same with Unicorn, cools those out. Ogre might actually be like maybe a $3 or $4 card at first because it's the highest printing, along with Birth. People are going to definitely scam it for Birth, but that's another card that might be on the printing block for the ban list. I'm also very interested in Destructive, Daruma Karma Canning. That's another slept-on card, similar to how I thought Ice Dragon's Prison was when it came out of that core set. It's just a objectively, generically good trap card that is seeing a higher rarity printing as well as more access in a format that might potentially be able to use it. It's a thrust target. It's powerful against all the metas. Yeah, it's a very, very solid pick.
I like that pick. It's just that Ice Prison, at least that specific card, then they came and they Mama reprinted that, so it killed its value. But if this trap doesn't get that same treatment, then there's definitely good value on that one. That's a good one. Yeah,
100%. For the disgusting Labyrinth players, they're getting their basically whole deck reprinted. Everything that was like a rare is now coming in secret rare, which is good for them.
Yeah,
a lot of the Scare Call players are getting their stuff from the core set. Like as you mentioned, Jet Dragon was also a really good one to appease for the casual players.
Yeah, like
allowing them access to pick up a card that was previously creeping from its way from 25 on release to about $40-$50 just because people just love Blue Eyes shit. All the Exo Sisters are getting reprinted. That's pretty cool. I think those are a notable pickup, as well as Full On Rees and Adventure. That was a solo print ultra that's been anywhere between $9 to $26 because of how inconsistent Flu is. But if there's just one good Flu player or one good top, shouts to my man Albert, that can make it happen. Like, this card could take off. This is the highest rarity printing of it and might make the bridge for people who wanted to get the deck, but this is like the one, I guess, price barrier card. Give them access to it. And as well as cards as Psychic End Punisher, Beyond the Pendulum, the Zombie Vampire. Those are all generically good cards. Garura, the Wings of Resonance, that's a solo print Ultra that was like $25, creeping up towards like maybe $30. That's about to get reprinted and maybe be like a $5 to $6 Ultra.
That's
You know what I'm
true.
saying? So like a lot of cards are getting cut in half that we can thank the Megatins for, but those are all cards I think solidly might retain value on release or go up.
Yeah, I mean, the value I think is going to be also dependent on what we mentioned, which is the ban list. That's going to be because the ban list can come in and mess everything up. But, if the ban list doesn't do what we expect it to do, or, it doesn't ban that many cards or, semi-limit, whatever, then there could be a lot of, value here for the future because there's a lot of great reprints, a lot of great deck cores, like you mentioned, that could possibly pan out. And appreciate in price, obviously, if the ban list doesn't touch those. So that's going to be very important. Once that ban list comes out, then this product, its true value is going to flourish, I think, after, that big event.
Now that we know what's in the secret slot and what's not in the secret slot, we can now start to make comparisons and start to make accusations as to what may sneak its way into the Ultra Super Spot. Because as we've mentioned before, a lot of the cards are missing that should have been reprinted in this year's tin. And a lot of those cards, surprisingly, are from Power of the Elements.
Exactly.
And Pote is just the craziest fucking set to ever release. It has Megaton fucking super nice archetypes. All of them saw competitive play. The cards like Kurikara and all the other side cards in there are insane, and I feel as though because of the tier elements and sprite, they're just trying to just say, you know what, we'll give them an unlimited running of that print of that core set, and then we're just not touching this shit again. They haven't reprinted it in the March set, they haven't reprinted it in Battles of Legend. We're now about to get the Megatins and it's still not announced to be reprinted. We may have a gold series or another ultra reprint set after November or like the October season, but as far as we're aware, a lot of these cards are not on this list. So what do you think possibly could make it on there? Maybe in the ultra or super slot that may be announced that could be spicy.
Yeah, I mean, as I was mentioning before, I see obviously that the Exo Sisters made it here to the secret rares. So I mean, they're from that set, and they made it over here. So that's good news if we want to say and speculate. We're like, okay, maybe sprites can sneak in, as ultra rares, I guess. But I think blue probably should have had that prismatic secret feel to it, but it already has a secret rare. So who knows, man? And Divine Incarnate is another one that I thought that they would, Kurikara Divine Incarnate, they would reprint it as a prismatic as well, but it's another one that has a secret. So maybe they want to also provide value with the ultra rares as well. As we can see, we have all these secrets that are coming out, so much value already. Honestly, I think that the adventure package was going to come in ultra rare as they reprinted the secrets in Battles of Legend, and they would leave cards like Divine Incarnate and probably sprite cards, as in those prismatic secret slots. But I mean, that's the route they chose. I mean, Ultimate Slayer is also another one that, could be sneaked up in there as well. You have a hero card with instant.
I was just going to say that too.
Instant contact, and then you have some gaudy cards, and a lot of potential, man. Pote, as you said, a lot of great value, a lot of different deck archetypes, a lot of different deck cores, and even meta relevant cards that obviously we don't have in this secret rare list. So yeah, if you ask me, I think that Divine Incarnate and the sprite cards most likely. Come on now, Konami, we need to get them at least as ultra rares just to make sure we have that extra access to those cards. I mean, it's true, they haven't announced it, they haven't included this set in the official 2023 Megatin, the set as an official release, like, oh, we're going to release cards from in here. But then at the same time with this list, we do already see that there's some secret rares that are coming as reprints from the set. So that could give us an insight. We're like, okay. So if we're already getting some secrets, then the ultras might include, sprites or Ultimate Slayer and things of that nature.
Which is funny because they've been slowly reprinting sprite in all of these size sets. So like the Battle of Legend, we got Carrot as an ultra, we got Smashers as an ultra, we had Red as a OTS pack super. So they've been dropping little hints every once in a while, which leads me to believe that they may not print Pope cards. I think we might see a time where they might miss an entire set completely just because they don't want to acknowledge the mistake of releasing that said set.
That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. Because I mean, obviously, if they ask me, I believe at some point, at one point or another, Ultimate Slayer, Divine Carne, if it's not in the tins, they have to reprint. I mean, come on now. You know what I mean? Like they're just too relevant.
Somewhere.
Yeah, yeah, right. At least, especially Kurikara. Somewhere they're gonna try and juice that. You know what I mean? But it's the other
Even
little.
Talents
Yeah.
got a couple reprints, and I did not think that card was getting reprinted as fast as it got reprinted.
It's true.
You know what I'm
Even
saying?
that
Triple
card.
Tactics Tax.
Exactly. So you know what I mean? A card that is way more expensive and way more meta relevant, and even that got a reprint first. So yeah, they best include at least as in the ultra rare slots or whatever, and give us access to those cards. I'm excited to see what's once those the official announcements and the spoilers and the leaks officially or of the ultras and the supers come out, just to see what else is coming in such a great product.
Yeah, word. I agree, 100%.
Yep.
Good thing that we all have the same mindset on this.
Yeah, of course. And then there's also a dilemma with reprints. I just wanted to ask you a question where, like,
Yeah, what's
reprints,
up?
if you invest into a lot of cards, then you're holding these cards thinking there's always that risk that if Konami comes and reprints the cards that you're investing into, that it's going to be tough. Just like with the 25th Rarity collection and things of that nature, where, like, some of us were holding a lot of meta staples. We're like, oh, Konami's not going to reprint this for now. And now, those investments are going to get shattered. But at the same time, that happens on one end. Then you have the other side where people are like, man, I don't feel like spending all that money on those cards. They're so expensive. And now we're going to finally have readily available, holographic prints of all these meta staples. So what do you think about that dilemma? Which side you're on? Do you agree with both? And things of that nature.
If I can restructure, I think you're asking, like, what is the, like, pros and cons that I think to reprinting cards in the TCG
Yeah, of course. I
type
mean,
deal, like how I feel.
Yeah. How do you feel about, just seeing if with the investment angle to it, but also, those people that are more budget and then they also get, easier access to those cards as well?
I feel like it would depend on which me you're asking, if I can be 100% transparent. Because if you're asking player me,
Right.
player me would say, I guess the partial egalitarian in me would say, like, everyone should have access to all the card pool.
True.
Like, much like how if I were to go online, I can have the same card pool that the next player has, and we can choose from the same card pool, and it doesn't
Right.
have to be defined by finances.
Right.
I think that is where Yu-Gi-Oh will really become accessible to, like, the modern player, because they have to understand that, like, the finances to play this game is very, very strict for the return on investment of maybe a card being reprinted and stuff like that. So I think that everyone should just have access to these cards. Much similarly to how OCG does, where there may be a chase rarity or chase card in a set, but for every chase card that they put in a set in a high rarity, they will also put it at the lowest rarity possible, like a common or a super or some shit like that, so that people who can't afford the higher rarity stuff can still play the card even if they don't want to flex. So my portion, the player part of me says, give access to all these cards. Give access to these cards to all the players, so that way the players can be based off skill, not who can afford to play the best deck, but who knows how to play the best deck, personally. But from a market standpoint, I understand that some people need to abuse the fact that cards aren't reprinted. That some cards go up because they have a scarcity, and that's just like you said, as you said earlier with stocks, it's just fear. Some people think that because this card's gone up, like a perfect example would be Beast. So that was a tech card for Cashtira's when Cashtira's first came out in Darkwing Blast, and it shot up as a common that was from, like, a core set, like Photon Shockwave or Sidewing Blast, whatever the fuck set it came from. It was just a rare that no one played. And because it was a rare from a core set from, like, fucking 5 or 6 years ago, 7, 8 years ago, that no one played or no one had, the scarcity for it was very, very high. So you can make a quick buck and turn those bulk cards that usually have no value into cards of value and turn a profit. So conservative, I guess, in me would say, yeah, that we need reprints we need to be able to exploit some sort of market if they're going to allow reprints to be a thing, because otherwise, why invest financially into the game? just print everything in one rarity and just say fuck it. You know what I'm saying? And that's the case, because if we're just being a card game, if you can go play other card games, and yeah, they might have some shiny cards, but I guarantee you all the structure deck cards are all commons.
Yeah, you make solid points, man. Of course, I mean, both sides are right. I mean, some people, it's like you said in the OCG, it's good. It's good for people to have access and then may the best person win. And if you want to rarity up your deck or whatever, then you can pay for that. That's really how it should be. That's really how it should be.
The choice to be on the player, not the market.
Yeah, that's really how it should be. And then, if you want to invest, then you invest into the higher end, for example, which are going to be harder to get, lower supply and things of that nature. So that'd be a better long-term investment. So yeah, I think that's the way it should be. It sucks that it's not, and that cards are so scarce and they spike up in price as much until the reprint comes, and then you bought a play set, and now imagine buying like Cartesia at 60s, and now you're seeing it at $20, down 3x,
Lubellians, when they were touching like $120.
Oh, man,
and now they're gonna see them shits at fucking 10.
Yo,
those niggas is crying. You know what I'm saying? They about to hold the bum 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 bum. You know what I'm saying?
For real, man.
That's the L.
Yeah, that's the straight L, man. Gotta give it to you.
Speaking of the ban list and implications of the meta, a lot of the Syracuse guys, most of the people who are listening, are all making their regional runs this weekend at Millennium Games out in Rochester, New York.
Mm-hmm.
And they're driving up there. I mean, I would say my car has got Antonio. I'm pretty sure he said Christian's going to be in there. It's going to be me. I know for a fact that Ryan App is going out there. Brendan, Albert Park, the Flunderies God. A whole bunch of other local cats, and I'm pretty sure Eric Christensen is going to try and make his way out. Matt Pelletier, all the heavy hitters. We're going to go out there and try to get our invite, and it's going to be a heavy hitting format because a lot of people are expecting to see if a ban list drops between then, which we're hoping that unless it drops today or tomorrow, there's no way that it's legal by the weekend as our thought process.
Yeah,
exactly. But hey, shit. At the time of recording, this shit is not dropped, but that shit could drop tomorrow. You never
or Konami's like, ban list is legal for this upcoming tournament. You man, it's like it doesn't.
Yeah, they might do that shit. Like, yeah, that shit legal tomorrow, niggas. You know what I'm saying? Y'all better be ready. Better change those deck lists, guys. All those guys who printed their deck lists. Wink, wink. Ian, you better be changing that shit up right quick.
Imagine, we don't tend to do this, but for this weekend, we're going to make this.
But for this weekend only. Get on down to your local regional where we're slashing the ban list and getting all the meta rearranged. But yeah, I mean, a lot of ban list speculation is going to be a lot to do with it, which also leads a lot of the decks in the room to kind of shift. I can at least predict that most people are going to be seeing a lot of Castira, a lot of Pirelli, a lot of newer format branded, a lot of
with the Chimera, of course.
Even with the Chimera, yeah. So that build as well as Pure, with the big
Pure, of course.
There's a lot of Dragon Link. Mm-hmm. There's gonna be a lot of decks that are gonna be there, and I expect to see people like Albert, who's more than likely gonna be on Flunderies if we follow his track record.
Yep.
Players like Brendan, who are really, really good in our local scene and also really good at the game just in general. I'm pretty sure on branded. A lot of them are all locked set on the decks that they're choosing, so I expect them to do well. I'm just trying to get my invites earlier than later, so not to say I'm not trying to take this serious, but I am aware that by playing Kashtira I have the target on my back, so I'm gonna be finding the uphill battle for majority of the day. If not, Pirelli's will, and that's our not worst matchup, but one of the harder matchups. But hopefully with the training I'm about to get with Jake this coming Friday, we'll be ready and set with that. So there's going to be a lot that I think that most people should be looking for. But what about you from your aspect? Are there any cards that you've seen coming up in the market that may influence what people might see at a regional table?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, I'm gonna actually be making an episode. I don't know if it's tomorrow's episode or the day after that. Actually, speculating a bit on the balance and speculation that's going on right now, and things of that nature. But yeah, the Chimera, the Fusion, the King of Phantom Beast. There we go. This card was a $3 card. I mean, it's crazy. Chimera, the King of Phantom Beast. It has the QCSR and then the regular ultra rare. It came out at $3. Insane. And now it's a $25 card pushing on 30. So that is crazy, man. If you go to
Yeah.
regionals, by the time you're there, might be a solid, a $30 to $35 card. Who knows? Even 40. It's just going crazy, man.
Yeah,
It's
vendors might be flipping it for way more on the
for
floor.
real. Yeah, you
Absolutely.
know how that goes. You know what I mean? So that's definitely one, to keep in mind. Also, I wanted to mention, just two decks, Unchained and then Rescue Ace as well. I played against Rescue Ace the other day in Turbulence. I talked about the card and the price and stuff, but I never read its effect. But when that thing came on the field and just it gets like 4 quick play spells and things of that, I'm like, what's going on here, bro? I'm like, I
You
was
just be sitting there like, that boy good.
for real. I'm like, man, okay, game two, you know what I mean? And then when I saw that, I'm like, oh, okay, I see why Rescue Ace, you know what I mean? And then Unchained too. Unchained has been popping off as of late, with Soul King Yama coming out. And someone got a top 8 in the Houston regional. So I think in the Utah regional, also a top 8 for Rescue Ace. So, these are decks that, they're around the corner. Of course, they're not branded Chimera. They might not be Pirellis. They might not be Cashtiras. You know what I mean? But when you go to a regional, of course, the top decks are going to be the top decks, the top tables for the most part. But you never know if one of these decks, slide in there. And that might cause a price appreciation, on the Rescue Ace cards or even on, the Soul King Yama. That's already an $8 card pushing double digits soon. And when it came out, it was $4 or $5. You know what I mean? And then the same with Turbulence and Hydrant, are cards that are keeping up with their demand. So that's all things, to look forward to as the regional season ramps up.
I 1,000% agree. You mentioning cards like the Chimera Fusion, that's definitely a prevalent deck that's actually seeing more representation on Dueling Book and online at regionals, online and at regionals than most other rogue decks, to the point where it's actually a tiered deck now.
Yeah,
Like,
it's crazy.
it's seeing that much representation. So yeah, and also decks like Rescue Ace, who Albert Park, who I mentioned earlier, also plays that deck very, very well, along with our brand ambassador Josh. So shout outs to both of them. They both play that deck very, very well. Very, very like knowledgeable pilots as to what's allowed to be happening, what can chain block what. You know what I'm saying? So like with cards, when you see those cards on the market take off, like the Chimera Fusion monster, the Chimera and whatever flying, whatever the hell his name is, the Chimera flying guy. When you see shit like Hydrant go up, when you're seeing shit like the Megatin reprints of the Unchained spells, you know what I'm saying, going up in price when they have
Yeah,
secrets that are like
Abomination's prison.
soaring right
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
Abomination's at like
Yeah, yeah.
15, 20,
Yeah,
and it's an
that's
ultra in a
insane.
fucking tin.
That's crazy.
Insane.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's crazy. What, you know what I'm saying? So like you can definitely use the market to help see what's going to be around, at least from an analytical standpoint of what the potential is. All right, this card's going up, so people are demanding it. Maybe they're demanding it because it's being played. Where can I possibly see it being played in? How do I react to it if I see it being played? You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Shit like
right, right.
that. So
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and then also another card just to close that out, is Drow and Lockbird, man. Like it's a $6 rare now. I've been talking about this card since it was 1 billy on the channel forever, and it's crazy to see it at $6 right now. There's a massive wall of China there of 360 copies, but that's gonna get eaten up, man. I wouldn't be surprised to see $7, $8 Drow heading into those regionals. Who knows, maybe even double digits, man. The demand for Drow is crazy. Everyone's, main decking 3 copies, and people just want to shut, their opponent down from searching. It's just right now it's popping off, man. Drone Lockbird, it's crazy, man.
but one of the last topics I wanted to kind of brush up on, or talk about, have like an open discussion about, was something that I was kind of pondering the last couple of days. And I view that at some point in time, maybe not the end of this year, maybe not next year, but maybe the year after that, we're gonna start seeing a very gradual and then a very steep decline in the high-end market for Yu-Gi-Oh. That
Well,
is my hypothesis.
Yes. I actually agree with you. I share the same sentiment. The perfect example, I'm going to use one of your favorite cards, Castira, Arise Heart,
Oh
obviously
no, here
Starlight
we
Rare.
go.
You know what I
Oh
mean? You're gonna have to hear
my
the story.
god.
Once again, someone out there I know had play sets. Play sets of those beautiful Starlight Rare, Castira, Arise. And yeah, the card used to be, let me see here, worth that's 400 billies, man. That's you're talking
Yeah.
about a
I
G2,
spent
man.
$400 on my first copy
Yeah,
too.
yeah, okay. So that you're
Let's
talking
not let's
about,
not remind me.
yeah,
Let's not
okay,
remind
okay,
me.
okay. About, you're talking about a rack maybe for a playset on a good day, and now each one is worth 140. So, you know what I mean? That's a what, like a 50% cut off the initial investment. So, I
And
mean,
more than that. Oh my
let's leave it
gosh.
at 50% just to sound nice. So, as I was saying,
Yeah,
you know
let's
what
save
I mean?
grace. Yeah, big facts.
Yeah. But seeing this card at 140, they used to cost what, 380s, $400. I mean, I think that's right on point with what you mentioned. I think this is just the beginning. Of course, this card got hit on the ban list. There's other factors. We just can't say it's high-end
Yeah,
Yu-Gi-Oh is crap.
reprinting wasn't this one's
Right,
doing, correct.
right. But at the same time, most you have QCSRs now, you have CRs coming out for many of these cards and things like that. All of these high-end reprints, it saturates the high-end market to a certain extent. Where like if you only had ghost rares and OTs in the past, those were hard to get. But now you have so many different, high rarity, versions of cards and things of that nature that you can't choose. Some of these cards have starlights, they have OTs, they have ghost rares, they have CRs. It feels like it's which high end do I choose? Of course, each of them is scarce in its own way. They have their own value, unique value. Some people prefer starlights, other people OTs, but at the same time, they're all high end reprints. You know what I mean? So if you want to collect them all, you know what I mean. You're gonna have to shed a good bang for your buck. So yeah, I mean honestly, I think that the high end Yu-Gi-Oh market is getting a little bit oversaturated in the sense of the different high end rarities that are being reprinted recently for many of these cards. So I think that's gonna put sell pressure in the markets, as we can see just with the example that we mentioned from a card going $300-$400 down to 140, and who knows if it goes down even to double digits. You just
Yeah,
never know, you know what I
absolutely.
mean? So I agree. I think in the next 6 months, a year, as we get also their 25th rarity collection and all these lower end reprints, a lot of people might sell their high end cards to stack up on the lower rarity reprints and make investments, and choose to do it that way. So I agree with you.
Yeah, because there's cards also like Alba Lenatus, the Abyss Dragon, like the Starlight for Abyss Seals. That was like a $300-$400 Starlight when it came out, and that shit's chilling at like $85 right now. Maybe only because like the deck's not converting like it should, but I mean
Right.
that's to just show like you could spend so much money on a card and it could just lose value like that in a snap of a finger. That shit's just gone.
Literally.
So, and especially, I wanted to argue not really so much like the market having the influence to do on it, but more like Konami itself is having an imprint on the market with its reprint tendencies. Like Konami is taking these cards that already have higher rarity, like core set starlights, and revamping them in these quote unquote newer rarities, but just making it knockoffs of what the expensive rarities are, making it so like, why would you even go get the fucking higher rarity? Why would I go spend money going to go get an old alti when they're gonna reprint it in a new set? Why would I go get the CR Baron that they just dropped in a couple sets ago when I can wait a month and a half or so, wait for the rarity collection to come out and go get that shit in like the super ultra fucking super
Whatever rarity.
fleek old CR rarity for half the price? You know what I'm saying? So like I'm gonna start, I think we might start seeing people back away from investing heavily into the high-end market of the Yu-Gi-Oh like aspect. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Personally.
yeah, that's a great analysis. I mean, honestly, if I would be owning all these, like, I'd just be getting rid of them, exactly. And even those that are not coming out in the 25th rarity collection, just overall, like, you never know. It could be around the corner. They could just reprint the one that you have. You come in here, you buy a Starlight, you think you're safe. You have the max rarity version of whatever card you choose, and then a new QCSR reprint, and then you're caught holding that.
Exactly. It's like, damn, now I'm holding the L. Better panic sell.
And
Better
then you're
watch that shit. Better try to get what I can. Better sell this fucking Arise Heart and get something back.
Exactly. You're a perfect example. That's a perfect reaction, man. But we're all caught, we all got caught holding bags one way or another. It's like me, man. I'm still holding winter cherries. I'm
Yeah.
down 50%. So, it is what it is. But that's one
I
that
feel
I'm
that.
fine.
I feel that.
It'll probably get a starlight or who knows. I think it's coming out in the 25th rare, whatever. But you know what I mean? If there's certain OTS cards that they're ultimate rares and they're scarce, they might retain value. Yeah, I'll have to wait, extremely long term for this one. But the whole point is that we're all caught holding back sometimes. But in the case of the 2023 Megatins that we discussed in today's episode, when you see it coming like that, there's no excuse to be holding extra Lubellions. You know what I mean? To be holding extra Cartesias, extra Starfrost, and things of that nature. That's where, it's our responsibility to recycle that purchasing power, so we can make sure that we get cards we need, down the line.
No, I agree completely. So that's where my quarrel would be with just their printing tendencies being like their choices, the cards that they choose to pick out of these rarities, like not only to reprint in these rarities, but the cards that they are reprinting. Like, why reprint Zeus in QCR when you already have a Starlight for it, and you announce a new 2-player set that's going to feature Zeus in it, and you've reprinted it as a secret, and it came out as an original print secret, and last year it came out as a Megatin Ultra. It's like, dog, why are we doing this?
Yeah, and then the OT's out there
why,
too. You know what
why
I mean?
compete?
So,
and the ulti, oh my god, and the ulti. Like, how many more fake ass mid to high rarity printings do we need?
But that's what I'm saying.
Well, you couldn't choose anything else.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So which one you choose? I mean, obviously, usually, okay, start at his max rarity. Then what? QCSR, OT is like, QCSRs are way more expensive and harder to get. So higher rarity. And then the OT and then the rest. I mean, honestly, I prefer OT. So I don't mind seeing it cheaper than the other two. But at the same time, if you know what I mean, it's like so many high rarity options. Like, come on now, bro. So I agree with you.
If we're talking about the superior rarity in my personal eyes, in my opinion, I would say nothing beats Ghost Rare. A very nice near mint, scratches on the surface. I don't care if it's first ed or not, but value-wise, first ed, you're right.
Right.
But a near mint clear copy of most of like 85% of the Ghost Rares that are out right now.
Right.
Like, as far as artwork-wise,
right,
look stunning. Look beautiful. They're just such elegant cards. I love the Ghost Rare rarity.
Yeah, I agree with
that. Being said, if we're speaking on a more realistic standpoint, which most people's arguments are Starlights or Ultis, I would say in the main deck, it would be Ultis. In the extra deck, it tends to be Starlights, just because they shine a little bit more. Yeah. And most of the time, your main deck is going to be, this monster's out for a quick second, this monster's in the graveyard, and a stack of other cards the very next second.
Yeah,
but true. That extra deck monster is going to be sticking on the field. So those ones should be like the really shiny. You know what I'm saying?
Because your end board is going to most likely have your extra deck monsters. So yeah, you want them
to, in my opinion.
Right. No, that makes sense. I agree with that one. Yeah. That's true.
Well, what about you? What's your standpoint? What's higher rarity to you?
Well, when you said Ghost Rares, like me, for example, there's OT Judgments. I play Ghost Rare Judgments. And, everyone, when they see that, they're like, wow. They're like, wow, you play Ghost Rare. Yeah, I'm like, of course, man, this thing looks beautiful. You know what I mean? But, again, Ghost Rares just growing up, that was my favorite rarity, and then I always clash between that and OTs. So it's like 1A, 1B for me. And then, a 2 is Prismatics. I really like Prismatic Secret Rares, like right under, not talking value-wise, just rarity, just when you see the card, the way it looks, the way it feels, things of that nature. For me, 1A and 1B is Ghost, then OTs, and then Prismatics, and then down the line you would go into Starlights and QCSRs, and then things of that nature.
I just wanted to see where your mindset was, pick apart that little brain of yours. Right. Maybe I just wanted to hear your ramble to listen to your voice, But with that, guys, we are starting to run out of life points. Just before we close out, I just want to give another thank you and a huge appreciation to my man here, Jay, aka Fresh Off the Press, guys. He came to feed.
Let's get it.
His podcasting needs.
Duh, let's get it, bro. You already know, man. You already know.
Well, do you have any last thoughts on the episode? Any final thoughts you want to say to the people? Any shout outs you want to give? Anything like
Yeah,
that?
of course. It was a great one, man. Always a blast just swinging by, just chopping it up with regards to Yu-Gi-Oh, what's going on, and just coming out here having a good time. So I appreciate it, man. And yeah, the channel, again, YouTube channel is that main platform of ours, YGO Fresh Off the Press. We'll leave a link in the description down below. Again, I focus on penny stocks, market watches. That's my expertise. Channel has continued to grow. We always have fun over there, good vibes, good energies, and that's what I'm all about. So again, thanks for the opportunity, and I look forward to to the future. Yeah,
absolutely, guys. So be sure to go check out his plugs, which I will link down below in the description box, alongside the link for the server for Unplugged Gaming, which you will go down there and follow because they are sponsoring this podcast and do most of the giveaways. So if you like the last Duelist Nexus giveaway that we did on Twitter, you have to follow them so that they can get the support to help give love to out branches like us. And I'll also be linking Fresh Off the Press's YouTube channel and his link tree down there, so that way you can go check out not only his YouTube channel, but also his other social sites and his crypto page, as well as his newly launched podcast, Fresh Off the Podcast.
That's right, man. I'm gonna have you over one of these days. You know what I mean? So stay tuned.
I'm gonna get on there. So make sure you wait for the crossover episode.
Oh yeah. I look forward to it.
You thought it was PG over there. It's just about to get real R.
Yeah.
So be sure to go down there, click on the link tree for us as well. Follow all of those social sites, TikTok and X, Twitter, whatever the fuck it wants to be. Giveaways are coming soon. Also with the Instagram, be sure to follow those social sites. Also, one last plug-in. We also want to shout out Brad, who will be streaming on Saturday night after the regional. So we will be going to the regional Saturday morning. We'll be there all day, and then we're coming back. And he still is going to be streaming. Look at that dedication, people. We definitely want to reward that. So go catch his stream Saturday. That's also in the description box below on our Linktree link. So go check it out. 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for those who are anywhere else other than the East Coast of the United States. Go on there, unwind with him, find out what he played, how he ranked, and how he did. And we will be talking about that on the next episode. So with that being said, we are all out of life points. Thank you so much for listening. I am Player X, and we have been the Semi-Limited Podcast. Thank you so much.